Students belonging to different socio-economic status, lower economic status, average socio-economic status, and higher socio-economic status. Our general assumption is that students belonging to higher socio-economic status do well and excel, better performance in the annual examination. What happened, friends, when you look for the family background? Whether children of educated parents excel well when compared to their children of uneducated parents. Is there something to do? Parental educational status and the academic achievement of our school children. So many a time I tell you, the research findings surprise researcher in terms of their findings. It is said most of the studies do find students of rural area perform well when compared to their counterpart urban students. What is wrong with that? Whether facilities extended for rural students are more when compared to urban students or vice versa? Nobody has an answer for that. We almost say at one point of our professional life, I come from rural background. At that time we did not disclose our locality. I do not know what prevents such people to hinder. I tell you, the research finding is something different from expectation of a researcher. There comes the role of research ethics. What do I declare? Because my research is a piece of work which has relevance, which is based on field work, which is based on my intellectual ability, which is based on methodology I have applied for the conduct of this research. Where do I stand for? I tell you another wonderful example this country has experimented. We all know that Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalayas came into existence since new education policy was launched in the year 1986. I hope all of you know. Now we are in the new education policy 2020. You forget about it. Go back to the past 2-3 decades. Navodaya Vidyalayas came into existence with the great dream of the then Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi, that the admission procedure for this Navodaya Vidyalayas are to be designed like this. 75% of the rural talents should be selected for the admission to Navodaya Vidyalayas, and 25% of the students can be from urban areas. This is a written document, written procedure. And about 10 years passed on with this process of admission. Students started coming from rural area, urban area, etc., etc. Our ethics of research make us to have an assumption that the students admitted to these Navodaya Vidyalayas are drawn basically from rural areas, essentially whose parents' occupation is agriculture. Am I right? Any right person with the right vision will have this kind of assumption. And Navodaya Vidyalaya Samiti, Delhi itself has conducted a survey all over the country whoever have joined Navodaya Vidyalayas as students right from the 6th standard till 12th standard, that survey revealed that about 56% of the students admitted to Navodaya Vidyalayas are from the occupation other than agriculture. Maybe other occupations in the rural area like smithy, carpentry, tailoring, or weaving, other than agriculture. What happened to your basic assumption? And when the analysis goes further and said only 16% of the students are from the families whose parental occupation was agriculture. And remaining, the petty business like about 12% of the children are from employees group where, their parents are working in either school, high school, or bank or post office, etc., etc. ಇಲ್ಲೇನಾಯಿತು, ನಮ್ಮ ಮೂಲಭೂತವಾದಂತಹ ನಂಬಿಕೆ ಯಾವ ಗ್ರಾಮೀಣ ಪ್ರದೇಶದ ವ್ಯವಸಾಯ ಹಿನ್ನೆಲೆ ಉಳ್ಳಂತಹ ಕುಟುಂಬದ ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ ಗುಣಾತ್ಮಕವಾದ ಉಚಿತ ಶಿಕ್ಷಣವನ್ನು ಕೊಡಬೇಕು ಎಂಬ ಆಶಯದಿಂದ ಭಾರತ ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಾರಂಭ ಮಾಡಿತು. ಆ ಮೂಲಭೂತ ಉದ್ದೇಶಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಹಾಕಿಕೊಂಡಂತಹ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಗಳು ಸ್ಪಂದಿಸಲಿಲ್ಲ. They did not cope up to our national expectation that the Navodaya Vidyalayas to cater the needs of rural talents was invariably defeated. And of course, they did not modify. They modified certain extent. Occupation was not the criteria. But they are living in rural areas to the extent of 75% and 25% of the total district, where district is in that way a very larger geographical area where each class did not exceed the admissions to Navodaya Vidyalaya classes only 40, ideal class, and free of cost education irrespective of their socio-economic status. The dream was, when these Navodaya Vidyalayas were designed, to provide liberal education, mind it, which has been, inspired by the concept like ethics, nobility, honesty. And this kind of education should be available for those who are deprived for just cause of their economic conditions. ಬಡತನ ಎಂಬ ಏಕೈಕ ಕಾರಣದಿಂದ ಗುಣಾತ್ಮಕ ಶಿಕ್ಷಣದಿಂದ ವಂಚಿತವಾಗಬಾರದು ಈ ಸಮೂಹ ಎನ್ನುವಂಥ ಕಾರಣದಿಂದ ಪ್ರಾರಂಭವಾದಂಥ. Our real ethical consideration starts from there. Whether do we expect what we think is reality? Many a time no. In research, what we think as reality is not reality when you complete your research endeavor. Many a time. So therefore, when we start of designing our research with objectives, general or specific objectives, you take it for many times. The survey reports which reveal whether they are nearest to your assumption. Academic achievement is a major concern in any educational research. You all agree with that. I asked many research scholars who have taken this as important variable, academic achievement. When I go for Viva's examination, I ask them, have you reviewed results of SSLC examination for the last 5 years? What, sir? What they make? What information they give? Any researcher, if do not take into account that public examination results are the indexes of academic achievement of that locality. ಈಗ ಬಿಡಿ, ಹೋದ ವರ್ಷ ಪರೀಕ್ಷೆ ಮಾಡಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯವಾದ ಪರೀಕ್ಷೆಯಲ್ಲಿ SSLC ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳನ್ನು ಮುಂದಿನ ತರಗತಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಪ್ರಮೋಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು. But you take it for others. When I passed matriculation, the state, Karnataka state SSLC average performance was 41%. ನಾವು ಅವಾಗೆಲ್ಲ ನಮ್ಮ ಬೆನ್ನನ್ನು ನಾವೇ ತಟ್ಕೋತಿದ್ವಿ. 41% ಪಾಸ್ ಆದವರಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಒಬ್ಬರು ಅಂತ. ಮೆರಿಟ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಪರ್ಸೆಂಟೇಜ್ ವಾಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ಅಸ್. ನಾವು ಪಾಸ್ ಆದ್ವಿ ಅನ್ನುವಂಥ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ನಾವು ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಇಯರ್ದೊಂದು ಬಿಟ್ಟರೆ ಅದ್ರ ಹಿಂದಿನ ವರ್ಷ ಎಲ್ಲ 78 ವಾಸ್ ದ ಪಾಸ್ ಪರ್ಸೆಂಟೇಜ್ ಆಫ್ ಮ್ಯಾಟ್ರಿಕ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್. ನಾನು ಮ್ಯಾಟ್ರಿಕ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ಯಾಕೆ ತಗೋತಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಅಂತಂದರೆ, ದಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ಎ ಸ್ಟೇಜ್, even today that is a stage where some kind of filtration, educational filtration is done rigorously. Examinations are done well, valuation was done at the state level, and results are announced so fairly that real strength of or real quality of our secondary education is reflected in the secondary results. ಅವಾಗ ಕೇಳಿದರೆ ನಾನು 5 ವರ್ಷದ ರಿಸಲ್ಟು ಅನಾಲಿಸಿಸ್ ಮಾಡಿರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಮೆನಿ ಟೀಚರ್ಸ್, ಮೆನಿ ರಿಸರ್ಚ್ ಸ್ಕಾಲರ್ಸ್. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಮೈ ಪೀಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಡ್ವೈಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ಆಲ್ ದೋಸ್ who have taken academic achievement as a variable in your study. Think of some parameters where the standpoint you need to be used. This is the basis of academic achievement of our state. Then you apply various sections of the society. We are really exhausted by using the variables again and again. One is sex, one is locality, the other one is SES, socio-economic status. Can you think of any other dimensions wherein we can extend the scope of our research? Parental occupations we do not consider. Parental educational status many a time we neglect. Religious background of the family many a time we reject. So when you consider these as an important parameters in our research, you would get something which you have a light to throw on. We can make a very wonderful analysis on that. So nowadays, in fact, researchers are so graced, facilitated, that now computers have eased the complex process of data analysis. And there are computer centers where they ask only researchers, you give me your proposal, and in proposal they see objectives and hypothesis. Okay, take the other part. They do not bother for other aspects, other dimensions of their research. And within, of course, a day, they will give the data analysis sheet to the researcher, and next week onwards, the researcher starts writing the thesis chapters. Now the basic question, where is the integrity and where is the honesty? Now when we answer these two things, definitely ethics would be the basis for entire research endeavor. Many a time I see only the title places are different. If you say it is in Mangalore district, somebody will say it is in Udupi district, some will say it is in Dharwad district, some will say it is in Gulbarga district. When you read the newspapers after declaration of the results, and that paper, editor and representatives give a wonderful opinions. ಏನು ಈ ವರ್ಷದ SSLC ಪರೀಕ್ಷೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿನಿಯರು ಮೇಲ್ಗೈ, ಒಂದೇ ಕನ್ಕ್ಲೂಷನ್. ಏನೇ ವೆರಿ ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಸೆಂಟೆನ್ಸ್. ಅದರಲ್ಲೂ ಉಡುಪಿ ಜಿಲ್ಲೆಯ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿನಿಯರು ಮೇಲ್ಗೈ. ನೀವು ಮಂಗಳೂರವ್ರು ಸಿಟ್ಟಾಗಬೇಡಿ. ಆಯ್ತು, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಪ್ಯಾಥೆಟಿಕ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಗುಲ್ಬರ್ಗಾ ಜಿಲ್ಲೆಯ ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಫಲಿತಾಂಶವನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿದ ಜಿಲ್ಲೆಯಾಗಿ ಹೊರಹೊಮ್ಮಿದೆ. ಅದು ಹೊರಹೊಮ್ಮುವುದೇ. ಮಂಡ್ಯ ಜಿಲ್ಲೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರತಿಶತ ಎಷ್ಟು ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿನಿಯರು ಮಾತ್ರ ಉತ್ತೀರ್ಣರಾಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇವನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ನಾವು ದೃಷ್ಟಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು. ರಿಸರ್ಚರ್ ಶುಡ್ ಕೀಪ್ ಆಲ್ ದೀಸ್ ವ್ಯೂ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ವ್ಯೂ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಸಿ ಈಸ್ ದೇರ್ ಎನಿ erratic sampling so that the results are coming like unevenly. ಒಂದೊಂದು ಸಲ ನಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತೇ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. We say many a time we are using the simple random sampling technique. Yeah, verified. In a social science it is different. And in experimental studies it is different. So when you use the simple random sampling technique, how many districts we have in the state? And from where you drawn the students? ಇದರ ಅರ್ಥದಲ್ಲಿ ರೆಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟೇಟಿವ್ ಸ್ಯಾಂಪ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕ್ ಆದರೆ ಯು ಡಿವೈಡ್ ದ ಹೋಲ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಇಂಟು 4 divisions at least. North, South, East, West. One of the best geographical classification. Or if you want to make only 2 divisions, North and South, fine. Or East and West, fine. There at least how many districts come in the North division, districts come in the South division. ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಬಹುತೇಕ ರಿಸರ್ಚರ್ಸ್ಗಳು ತಮ್ಮ ಜಿಲ್ಲೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಮೊದಲು ಎಲ್ಲನೂ ಎಕ್ಸಾಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ 1-2 ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಜಿಲ್ಲೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಆದರೆ ಕವರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಬಳಸೋ ಪದ ಏನು? ದಿಸ್ ವಾಸ್ ಎ ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ರ್ಯಾಂಡಮ್ ಸ್ಯಾಂಪ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕ್. ಆ ಪ್ರಿನ್ಸಿಪಲ್ಸೇ ಓದಿರೋಲ್ಲ ಯಾರು. ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಎ ರೆಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟೇಟಿವ್ ಸ್ಯಾಂಪ್ಲಿಂಗ್. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಫಲಿತಾಂಶಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ಯಾಕೆ ಫೌಂಡ್ಲೆಸ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತವೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಈ ಕಾರಣಕ್ಕಾಗಿ. ಸ್ಯಾಂಪ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಎರರ್ನಿಂದಾಗಿ 80% ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಫೈಂಡಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ನೋ ರಿಯಲಿ ಅನ್ವರ್ದಿ ಆಫ್ ಬಿಲೀವ್. ಇಫ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಎ ಫೇರ್ ಸ್ಯಾಂಪ್ಲಿಂಗ್, ದೆನ್ ಹ್ಯಾವಿಂಗ್ ರೆಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟೇಷನ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಕಾರ್ನರ್, ಅದಕ್ಕೊಂದು ಅರ್ಥನೂ ಕೂಡ ಇದೆ. ಕರಾವಳಿ ಜಿಲ್ಲೆಯ ನಾವು ಎಷ್ಟೇ ಏಕತೆಯ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತನಾಡಿದರೂ ಕೂಡ ಕರಾವಳಿ ಜಿಲ್ಲೆಯ ಶಾಲಾ ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತಿ ಒಂದು ವಿಭಿನ್ನವಾದಂಥ, ಉತ್ತರ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದ ಜಿಲ್ಲೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿನ ಒಂದು ಶಿಕ್ಷಣದ ಪರಂಪರೆ ವಿಭಿನ್ನವಾದಂಥದ್ದು. ಎಲ್ಲ SSLC ಮಕ್ಕಳೇ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು ಅಥವಾ PUC ಮಕ್ಕಳೇ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು. ಬಟ್ ಸಿ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಕನ್ವರ್ಟ್ ಯುವರ್ ಸ್ಯಾಂಪ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಆಸ್ ಎ ರೆಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟೇಟಿವ್ ಸ್ಯಾಂಪ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕ್, then you can summarize the whole issue and say the generalizations you have drawn on the basis of the data to some extent has the relevance. ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಮಟ್ಟಿಗಾದರೂ ಕೂಡ ವಿಶ್ವಾಸಾರ್ಹತೆಯನ್ನು ಅದು ಪಡೆದುಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇದೆಲ್ಲವೂ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಆಗೋದು ಹೇಗೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ವೆನ್ ರಿಸರ್ಚರ್ ಈಸ್ ಎಥಿಕಲಿ ಸೌಂಡ್ and keeps his biasness outside to some extent. Once I saw one examiner was asking the research scholar, how many hypotheses you have set in? 40, sir. Okay, how many of them are rejected? How many of them are accepted? Is a kind of question. ಯಾಕೆ ಅಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಆಯಿತು, ಯಾಕೆ ರಿಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಯಿತು ಅಂತ we are just making our research scholars to have a fear. So if my hypothesis is rejected, I think something wrong I have done. No. Your hypotheses are based on your wise assumption. The data that you collected, gathered, and made use of it have led you to a conclusion that your hypothesis is rejected. Fine, you accept it. Then the alternative hypothesis you form, if boys and girls do not differ significantly in academic achievement, is hypothesis disproved? Then you say, yes, there is a difference. Why do girls excel well or vice versa? Then that leads to several questions to your mind. Many times, researchers write mechanically suggestions for further research. This is, according to me, one of the best exercise for a researcher. You have done wonderful exercise to complete your research, and finally you have come to a stage saying that, hey, ಇದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ನಾನು ಹೆಚ್ಚಿನ ರಿಸರ್ಚ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲಿಲ್ವಲ್ಲ. ಭೈರಪ್ಪ ಒಂದು ಸನ್ನಿವೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ, ಭೈರಪ್ಪವ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನೀವು ಕೇಳಿದ್ರಿ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ವೈಸ್ ಚಾನ್ಸ್ಲರ್ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಸಾಹಿತಿ ಭೈರಪ್ಪ ಅವರು ನಾನೇಕೆ ಬರೆಯುತ್ತೇನೆ ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಬಂಧದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಎಲ್ಲ ನನ್ನ ಇಂಟೆಲೆಕ್ಚುವಲ್ ಎಬಿಲಿಟಿನ, ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೀರಿಯನ್ಸನ್ನು, ನಾಲೆಡ್ಜನ್ನು ಬಳಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಒಂದು ಕಥೆಯನ್ನು ಸಿದ್ಧ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಬರೆಯೋಕ್ಕೆ ಶುರು ಮಾಡ್ತೇನೆ. ಅದು ಬರೆದಾದ ಮೇಲೆ ನನಗೇನು ಅನಿಸುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದರೆ, ಅಯ್ಯೋ, ಇದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಆಳವಾಗಿ ಈ ವಿಷಯದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಾನು ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗಲಿಲ್ವಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ನೋ ಕೊರಗುಳಿಯುತ್ತೆ. ನಾನು ರಿಸರ್ಚರ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳೋದು ಇದೊಂದೇ ಮಾತು, ನೀವೆಲ್ಲ ಎಕ್ಸಾಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಎಫರ್ಟ್ಸ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಪೂರ್ತಿ ಮುಗಿಸಿ, ಅಯ್ಯೋ ನಾನು ರಿಸರ್ಚ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಇಷ್ಟೇ ಆಯ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಇದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮೇಲೆ ಹೋಗೋಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಫೀಲಿಂಗ್ ವಿಲ್ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಆಫ್, ಹಾಗಾದರೆ ಇನ್ನೇನು ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದಾಗಿತ್ತು, ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ಯಾವ ಡೈಮೆನ್ಷನನ್ನು ಸೇರಿಸಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು. ದೆನ್ ಯು ಕೀಪ್ ಆನ್ ಡೂಯಿಂಗ್ ಸಮ್ ಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಆನ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್. ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ದ ಬೆಸ್ಟ್ ಬೇಸಿಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ರೆಕಮೆಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಸಜೆಷನ್ಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ಫರ್ದರ್ ರಿಸರ್ಚ್. ನಾನು ಇಷ್ಟೇ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಆಯಿತು, ಇದರ ಮೇಲೆ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಆದ್ದರಿಂದ ಇನ್ನು ಇದರ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ನೆಸ್ಗೆ, ಪರಿಪೂರ್ಣತೆಗಾಗಿ, ಆ ಸಂಶೋಧನೆಯ ಪರಿಪೂರ್ಣತೆಗಾಗಿ ಈ ಆಯಾಮಗಳನ್ನು ಮುಂದಿನ ರಿಸರ್ಚರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಅಥವಾ ಅವರೇ ಪೋಸ್ಟ್ ಡಾಕ್ಟರಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಆಲ್ ಪಾಸಿಬಲ್ ವೆನ್ ರಿಸರ್ಚರ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಎಥಿಕಲ್ ಫೌಂಡೇಶನ್, ಎಥಿಕಲ್ ಬೇಸಿಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಎಥಿಕಲ್ ಕಮಿಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಟು ಹೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ಹರ್ ರಿಸರ್ಚ್ endeavor. I know I did not excel time, rather I completed my talk even earlier than the time given to me. But I express my heartfelt thanks to university authorities, particularly our Vice Chancellor and Dr. Chidananda for giving me this wonderful opportunity to share some of my stray thoughts on ethics in research and ethical consideration on the part of researcher. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your inspiring words. From his words, we can understand he was such nicely speaking about the importance of research. Not only the importance of research, which are the research gaps, and what is the importance of research ethics. He was not just talking about abstract things. He was giving concrete examples in order to make us understand what really is the research gap and what really is the research ethics. Thank you so much, sir, for your inspiring talk. Now, I invite all your kind attention to our research person for today, Dr. K. Jagannath Dagli, sir. In order to quote one, I just wanted to quote, because this quotation really talks about him when I read this. To quote John Quincy Adams, if your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, you are a leader. In that sense, Dr. Jagannath Dagli, sir, is a leader and a great leader who always accompany his researchers, inspire them, and even inspire them in order to learn more and to grow. And of course, we are very fortunate to have him here as a resource person. I want Shruti, our eminent student, to give citation Dr. Jagannath Gandhi, sir. Thank you.
Good afternoon, one and all. Dr. Jagannath K. Dange is an educationist, an excellent speaker, a great critic and writer, and inspiring teacher. Was born and brought up in Gulbarga, Karnataka. He completed MSc in psychology from the University of Madras and pursued a master's degree in education at Gulbarga University. He also holds MA in sociology from the Karnataka State Open University, Mysuru. He has also qualified SLET, NET in education. Dr. Jagannath K. Dange, working as professor and chairman of Department of Studies and Research in Education, Kuempu University. He has already have 3 years of teaching experience at the Teacher Training Institute and 2 years of experience in government secondary school. He has done PhD on a highly innovative educational technology thrust area, keeping in view computer assisted instruction for secondary students for the first time in India. He was a director of Center for Ambedkar and Buddhist Studies and also coordinator of health education programs and advisory board member for Career and Counseling Cell, academic advisory council member for School of Education, internal quality assessment cell and SC and ST cell at Kuempu University. His teaching and research interests include instructional technology, learning technology, mobile learning, educational research, and statistics. He was a member of Curriculum Development Committee for the 2-year BA Teacher Education Program constituted by Higher Education Council Karnataka and oriented the teacher educators of the Karnataka state. Dr. Jagannath Dange carried out a major research project on a very innovative topic, mobile learning at teacher training institutes. His contribution includes a newly developed theory of contribution wherein he described an individual contribution at 5 different levels. His contribution is significant in the development of the theory of success too. His 2 more theories, theory of giver and theory of role model, are under the consideration of publication. His contribution also include step learning experiences model, in which he listed 17 varieties of learning experiences which may be used in the teaching learning process, and he also developed a life skills model based on the World Health Organization proposed 10 life skills. Recently, he added background music approach to learning mathematics and new pedagogical approach, that is dramatization approach, for teaching the secondary school students. He published 12 books and developed blended learning material for B.Ed course, first time in India, collaboration with Commonwealth of Learning Canada, and also published 269 research and conceptual papers in reputed national and international journals and magazines. Dr. Jagannath Dange is a columnist and writes articles for newspapers, and he has presented more than 100 papers at numerous national and international conferences and seminars. He is working as International Peer Review Committee member for 11 international online journals, UGC listed journals, and advisory board members for a couple of international journals. He worked as honorary advisory board member and reviewer for many international conferences around the globe, and served as a resource person selected by Higher Education Council of Karnataka and delivered special lectures on the different themes of higher education to the newly appointed assistant professors of first grade college and universities. He has been engaged in delivering special lectures for NET and KCET aspirants. Dr. Jagannath K. Dange has delivered 76 special lectures on different themes of teaching learning, evaluation and paradigm of education, teacher training, Indian Constitution, human rights, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar's ideology and Buddhism. He conducted various workshops on how to write articles for research scholars and teachers and on educational technology at grassroots levels for teachers using technology for teaching, and has experience of conducting various special lectures on educational research for researchers, teachers and teacher trainees. He has attended the international conferences organized in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. He conducted special sessions for Bal Mandir Children's, Corps of Police Department and teachers at all levels and students of different categories. He also chaired sessions at national and international conferences. He is also a District Research Advisory Committee member of DIET Shivamogga. Being a health education coordinator, he organized free eye testing camps and blood donation camps and awareness programs for the university students and staffs. From the Center for Dr. B.R. Ambedkar and Buddhist Studies, he organized more than 40 programs and special lectures in Kuvempu University and undergraduate colleges of Kuvempu University regarding Indian Constitution and ideas of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Dr. Jagannath K. Dange was interviewed by Doordarshan TV Chandana, Bangalore on 2nd September 2015, and the program was re-telecasted in the very next month. He has also participated in All India radio programs from Bhadravati station and gives talks on the themes personality development, life skills and how to face exams, etc. Dr. Jagannath participated in Poet Meet and presented his poem at Saranath, Uttar Pradesh in a national level poets meet organized by Karnataka Mattu Samskriti Ilake. Being a member of Parisara Kendra, he participated in environmental awareness programs for secondary school teachers and students and tree sampling programs. He is also sponsoring Best Student Teacher Award in 2 B.Ed colleges. He received Chintana Guide Teacher Award and Chintana Organizing Teacher Award in 2004-05, and he was honored with Karnataka State Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Ratna Award in 2018 and Indian Ideal Citizen Award, Karnataka Bhushan Award and Karnataka Basava Jyoti Award in 2019. He is founder of Janahita Sabha Forum, an organization for creating educational, social, culture and political awareness among the people. He is also an advisory board member for the NGO and given valuable suggestions for organizing need-based and awareness programs which would be helpful for the society in many spin-offs. His vision is to India must to have one country, one education system so that equality can brought through education system. So now I request Dr. Jagannath Dange to take his session after a small tea break. Thank you. Thank you one and all.
Dear participant, it's time to wrap up the inauguration ceremony by thanking each one of you. So I welcome Mr. Nagaraj sir, CS, Teaching Faculty of Department of Education, to extend his vote of thanks to all of you.
Good afternoon all. Thank you is such a prayer that cannot be seen or touched. It must be felt by the heart. I feel honored and privileged to get the opportunity to propose a vote of thanks on this occasion. I would like to thank the honorable delegates who blessed us with their presence. At the outset, I convey deep regard and heartily thanks to our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor P. Subramania Edapaditaya, for his valuable presence and help in obtaining the necessary administrative approval for organizing the event on our campus. We are grateful to him and thank him for being with us today in this ceremony. I would like to thank our beloved Dean, Faculty of Education, Dr. Gerald Santosh D'Souza, sir, for his constant guidance and radiated a source of energy with us. My sincere thanks to Dr. M.S. Talwar, syndicate member, Mangalore University, who graced us with his valuable keynote address. I place my account of gratitude to Dr. Jagannatha K. Dange, Sir, Professor, Department of Education, Kuvempu University, Shankaragatta, Shivamogga, for being a part of this workshop. He is going to enlighten us all through his wisdom and knowledge. Thank you, sir. We have with us our Dr. Shashikala A, advisor of Department of Education, MEd, Mangalore University, for her constant guidance not only today but in all our endeavors. An event of this dimension cannot happen overnight. There should be planning, preparation, and hard work. The man behind all this is our coordinator, Dr. Chidanand Hale. He always stands by us and motivates us. Heartful gratitude to Chidanand sir. I want to extend my generous thanks to entire participants, professors, and guest faculties who are come from different departments from being a part of this workshop. Thank you one and all. I am very much thankful to all MPed teaching faculties and students and MEd colleagues, supporting staff members and students for their support and cooperation towards this 6 days workshop. Thanks to all you for making this event successful. Thank you one and all.